throughout the month of October, my plan is to try and get through as much of the scrap yarn as I can and hopefully reduce the size of the bag. I have got loads of sources of inspiration. I have got a Pinterest board that I've been keeping for ages. I have got loads of magazines. I have got loads of pattern books, and I've got sort of paper patterns as well. So throughout October, when I've got some spare time, be it on weekends or Thursdays or Fridays when I'm not in the office, I will be looking to crochet stuff. I won't be showing you every part of the process because obviously it will be a really long video, hopefully, because I'm hoping to get through a lot. But what I will do is show you every now and then and give you sort of updates. And as always, all of the links to the patterns will be below. So this is the bag that I've got my stuff in. My wonderful friend made this and it is absolutely spot on. Anyway, so I've put all of the sort of scrappy unassigned yarn in here and I've separated it out. So I won't pull all of it out right now, but what I was thinking I could do is look at the colours that I've got, and maybe each day or each project I can sort of look at getting rid of one sort of stash of yarn, if that makes sense. So I'll show you what I've got out already. So this is a bit hard to see, but this is mixed acrylic yarn. So we've got some turquoise, some purple, some blue. This is a really lovely colour. White, beige, grey, white mixed and browns. So they're chunky. This is also chunky, but it's mainly natural with some red. So I'll be looking at a project that will use that. Then in here we've just got mixed, presumably DK yarn with different wool. So that's wool, that's wool. Some are a lot softer than others. Some of these would make really nice headbands actually. This blue is really nice. We've got some presumably DK cotton. I call it ribbon yarn because it's flat. Probably has got another name. This was from my husband's grandma. And I have a project idea for them already. We already talked about it because it's quite sentimental to him. So I will probably be using that today because I already know what I'm going to make with it. So I'll leave that one out. Then we've got, this is full of cotton yarn. This is DK, so we've got some red, mainly naturals. Got some light pink, some beautiful mustard colour, which I would like to make a hair bow with this because I've got quite a few mustard dresses that I wear quite a lot. I've got some fingering weight yarn in here. Some of it is hand dyed. The green, the blue at the top and the purple are all hand dyed. This pink at the bottom is really soft. So this was really intriguing, but I don't really know what to do with such a small amount of yarn. So I will maybe try and incorporating it into a different project. But yeah, £3, and I'm pretty sure that it was half price as well, hand spun. In here, in this bag, I've got lots of DK cotton yarn. So this is the smaller amounts, Rickarumi, for example, red cotton. And there was a project that I was looking to make for Christmas. So maybe I'll see if I've still got all the yarn for it. Yeah, there's a lot of natural. This colour I bought quite a lot of. Looks kind of grey on camera, but it's sort of beigey. But yeah, I will look through there. That will probably turn into amigurumi of some sort. I know that I wanted to make a Rudolph, so yeah, that'll be fun. And then the rest of this, apart from this, this is a magic ball of hand-dyed yarn. I didn't make it, so I don't know what it looks like inside, but that'll be really intriguing. And just in here is just random DK acrylic. So there's some like bright orange, greens. This isn't a very nice texture, so I might actually, I don't know what to do with that. I've got some green, red, blue, brown, loads of different colours. So I'm not quite sure what to do with that, but again, my plan over this sort of month is to try and stash down as much as I can and get rid of all of the yarn. So for example, with this yellow, if I make a bow and I've just got sort of 5 grams left, I will just keep on making it bigger until I use the yarn. As long as it's still usable, then it's not a waste in my book. But yeah, so as I said, there's lots of places I can get inspiration from, but today it is Sunday the 5th or 6th, I think. Today I'm going to be making something with this, and it is going to be a bag. So if I haven't already mentioned, my plan is to make this into a doily bag. So originally I was looking to finish all of the colours, and I love how bright these are. I was looking to finish all of the yarn, however, without it being too long, basically. Sorry. So basically the pattern is like this. So I make the bag, I carry on a little bit longer, and then I make a round doily and put it so that that is the flap over the front of the bag. 2 more colours to add. Originally, because I've got so much yarn, I was thinking I could make this into a laptop cover, but I don't have enough, I don't think. So I'm going to get to the end of this repeat, and then I'm going to get to the end of this row and then see where I end up. It might be that I do have enough to do a laptop cover, but I don't think so. Because as I was saying, I don't really want a lot of yarn to be left over, because the whole point is to use it up. So this is how it's going so far. I love, 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 love the colours. So far I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colours. Got 2 more to go. And then I'll come back and see how it's going. So it is Sunday evening, so it's the 5th today. So I just thought I'd show you what I have done. So I worked out that I did actually have enough to make a laptop bag with. So this is one side, this is the other side. And now I am just working on the doily for the top. That's got all the ends in it, obviously. It doesn't lay flat, but I will probably wet block it just so that it can become flat, hopefully. But I've used all of the yarn except 3 little bits. So 2 little bits actually. So just this darker orange colour, which only has, let's have a look, 6 grams left, so not a lot at all. And this green, which I know I didn't use in the rest of it, but it will be nice to get it done because that's the same sort of yarn as the rest of it, ribbon yarn, and that's 9 grams, so I'll probably put that on the edge. And yeah, that's it. I'm really tired. I'm going to go to bed now. It is the 6th of October. I have finished making this. So mind all the little bits that are falling off. So I will try and show you at the end a better version of this. So that's just the flap, and that is the back. So it's very colourful. It's quite vintage colours. I love it. I'm using my laptop at the moment, so I'm not going to show you what I'm working on, or I won't show you this inside. No, my laptop inside this, but yeah. So this is finally finished, and this weighs, excuse the noise there, 121 grams. So that's done. The only bit I've got left over is this green. I couldn't bring myself to put it on the project because it's also colour coordinated, so I will put this back in the bag and try and find something else. Hopefully you heard that. The next thing that I want to make, I'm thinking about using the thick yarn to make a carrier. So I have some Pyrex dishes that I put food in, and I often take it to work, but they are round, they're glass, and they're quite fragile. I have seen this pattern online. Let me show you. I've seen this pattern online, for a carrier. So there's hooks just here, and you unravel it and it looks like this when it's flat. So I can either use normal cotton for it, in which I'll have to use more, or I can use the thick cotton and hopefully use all of it. I think I'm going to try the thick cotton because I'm going to be using a different a thickness of yarn for this pattern. I think I will just freehand it. It looks like it's just a crochet rectangle and then you build up the sides a little bit bigger. Obviously I will build this depending on the size of my biggest dish and then go from there. So that's the first thing I need to do, is take that measurement so that it's a little bit bigger. This is a free pattern from Yarnspirations. They have a big library of really good free patterns, crochet and knitting, but yeah, I'm just going through there and I found a few good ones. It is the 7th of October and I have sort of continued with my progress from yesterday, or I'm just about to continue my progress. So what I'm making is a little pot carrier for the glass Pyrex dishes that I have. I have got 4. I'm tailoring it to the biggest size. So I measured it and it needs to be an 8-inch square in the middle. So I've started on that, just double crochet, nothing too exciting. And then when it gets to the edges, I will build them out like a triangle with longer bits on the end, if that makes sense, like the original pattern. I am using sort of the more natural colours for now because I would like it to look more cohesive. It might not always look like that, but if I can, that's what I'm going to get it to look like. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just double crochet, rows and rows of double crochet for the moment. So yeah, so that's what I did yesterday. None of the yarn was finished entirely, but that was started. So this is what I managed to do on the 7th, either the 6th PM or the 7th, I can't remember, one of the two. So I did, I'm trying to show you, it's really difficult. So I did from the stitch marker down, these are going to be the edges and this is going to be an edge. I'm sort of doing it 5 rows up and then I'm going to start decreasing and doing the handles, so that's that. Today is the 9th, so I haven't done any crochet for a couple of days. I have just popped Netflix on. I'm just about to watch a show, and whilst I do that, rather than scrap crocheting, let me show you. I'm being good. I am going to start weaving in the ends of some of my granny squares for my project. So I'm going to do some of these, weave in the ends, and then, yeah, while I'm watching the show, I'll make it go quicker. So yeah, no scrap projects for the moment, just weaving in ends, which is boring, but it needs to be done. Hello, it is the 9th of October at the moment. I am somewhere else. I'm just at my dad's house at the moment. You may recognise the background from very early videos. I just wanted to show you where I'm up to. I think I did a little video this morning. I don't know if you could hear me or not, but this is where I'm at. So I didn't do anything yesterday. I did some crocheting on the 7th, either the 6th or 7th, I can't remember. I crocheted all of this. This is the base, the light beige bit, and then the brown bits are just the edges, and then I just have to crochet to make it into a bit of a triangle with some handles at the top. So that's where I'm at. It doesn't look like a lot at the moment, but hopefully it will be useful. So this is my Pyrex. It is stitch themed. My brother and my sister-in-law got it for me. There's a set of 4 and I love them. This is the biggest size. So let me just pop it in here. That's kind of what it'll look like. I will have some handles on each side. So the next part I need to do is crochet into the ends, do 5 rounds on this side, 5 rounds on the other side, and then I can start crocheting it up. Finished the beige, hence why I started on the light blue. I've only got a little bit left of that, and I'm starting on the brown now. So brown, and then I will start on the rest of the colours. I think I've got a red and a white that are the same thickness of yarn. The other ones are thick, but not as thick as this, so don't know in what order I'm going to do it, but yeah, I'm going to try and make it not look as scrappy as it could look. So I have got the TV on, so ignore that. So I've just finished. It looks a bit strange. So one of the main problems, it wasn't really a problem, one of the main problems I had was that I only had 2 of these hoops, and I am trying to use things up rather than buying new things. So I just so happen to have these. I was going to use them for sort of baby rattles, because I've got a few members of the family that are having babies or friends, etc. But they can be used for this instead. So I used up this thick white yarn, this brown yarn, this beige yarn, and this little bit of blue that I had in a couple of places. It does look quite scrappy, but I haven't used it yet. I thought I would just show you how it works. Now this might be a bit difficult. So the 2 corner ones, I have put them together. In the pattern that I used as inspiration, they had 3 different rings that they could use, and they put one on 3 corners, and that's it. So as I said, there on 2 of the corners they share 1 ring. On one of the sides it's got its own ring, and then on the other side it's just got this loop, this handle. So it does work quite well. It's not meant to be life-changing, as I said. It does look a little bit scrappy, but it would do because it is a scrappy project. And as I said, the main purpose of this was to protect the glass when I am taking it out. It is just a little bit too big to keep in my backpack, so now I can literally just use it like this. I don't know actually whether it will be better for this one to go underneath, maybe. I mean, I don't think it ultimately matters. Maybe that's a little bit better. I can make it a bit tighter or looser, etc. So yeah, so this is my second project. It's finished, and that's some more yarn that I finished. So on to the next one. I don't know what my next project will be. I'm hoping to find something more interesting. One of the things that I did think that I could use would be some just probably acrylic little pan protectors, so that when I'm stacking pans in the cupboard, rather than being metal on metal, because that can scratch them, if I made pan protectors I can just put them in, and it would eat yarn as well, so it would use a lot, especially because I could just double it up and then it will be quicker. But I want to have a quick project at the moment. This was quite a long one and it wasn't necessarily interesting. I mean, I had to think about it because I used a different weight of yarn to the project, so it was different. But I think I'm probably going to look for something that's more fun than functional. So amigurumi maybe. I'm just going to look at some patterns now and see what I can find. But yeah, on to the next scrap. And as I said yesterday, I would like to do some amigurumi. So I found a pattern that I quite like, a small one, which I don't know how much yarn it will use, but I will definitely weigh it before I start. I've got this leftover green hand-dyed yarn that is really pretty. I bought it for a colleague who left work maybe 3 years ago. So quite a while she's been gone. So I've got this one, and I've got just this normal green DK. I think it's slightly thicker maybe. This is acrylic, this is not. It's normal hand-dyed merino, I think. So the pattern I'm going to use is a crochet frog. Let me see if I've got it. Just because I've seen them everywhere and I think it's really cute. So this is a pattern by the Caffeinated Snail. It's meant to be really easy. Obviously I need some white for his chest. Maybe I'll make 2 of them, one in each colour, or depending how much yarn it uses, maybe I'll just make them in the hand-dyed yarn. If it will finish it, maybe I'll just make 2 in this. So I have finished 2 little frogs. So this one I held double-stranded, just to hopefully finish the rest of the hand-dyed yarn. It did not finish yet. I've got about 6 grams left, I think. And this is the first one I made, the tiny one. So 2 frogs. I've got enough left to make another one, but I don't know whether I want 3 frogs. That seems a bit much, but then I don't really know what else I'd be able to do with 6 grams of yarn. So yeah, they are done. Hey, it is it's day 11. It's the 11th of October. I have been working through my acrylic yarn because there's just so much of it. I feel like you can do more with cotton yarn. The little balls I have, sort of rickaroomy yarn, I can use that more so for amigurumi, and it takes up less space. So what I'm doing is working on a scrap basket. So I am still keeping track of how much yarn I use, both in the amount of balls that I get through and the amount of grams that I get through as well. So far with this, I have finished 2 skeins, one small white and the multicoloured one that you can sort of see here. It's sort of neon. So yeah, I'm nearly at the end of one of the pinks. I did debate whether to do it like completely random, completely scrappy, and just grab the smallest ones and work from them, but I prefer a more uniform look. I prefer the look of sort of rainbow colours. So at the moment I'm working with 2 strands of light pink, 2 of medium pink, and 1 of sort of cherry red. I'm nearly to the end of this bright pink, so I will replace that with, I've got a few scraps to go through, a few pink scraps. Then I'm going to move on to the orange, and for the orange I have, I think it's like 5 scrappy balls. So I'm going to replace 1 strand with an orange and 1 strand with a yellow, and then just crochet. Literally, let me see if I can show you. So this is how it's, I don't know why it's not focusing. So this is how it sort of looks. So I'm going through like this. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish all of the yarn, just because I'm working through it at the moment, and it's a struggle to get through a whole skein or a whole ball. So I'm going for using more rather than finishing off colours, if that makes sense. So I'd rather sort of just have a couple of balls left rather than completely finishing sort of all the red, all the orange, if that makes sense. So these 2 I'm not going to use. The sort of cherry red and the other red, I can use those for projects, I'm sure. The orange, I'm hoping to only have sort of 1 skein left. Oh, I bought this second hand and someone's, I really don't know why it's not focusing. Yeah, so I don't know why I bought this second hand and someone's rolled it up into 3 strands, which is annoying, but I'll deal with that when I come to it. So I'll have probably use those. This one's single strand, so I can keep that to the side. The yellow I'll try and use, the green I'll try and use, and then the blues as well. So this is a weird sort of fluffy yarn, which I was going to buy, which I did buy second hand, to make sort of like a headband with, but it didn't work. So yeah, I need to get rid of that. The black and the white, again, I'm going to keep those for a different project because I can use them elsewhere. So yeah, rather than getting rid of all of the yarn, it's just getting rid of quantity, I guess. So yeah, that's where I'm going at the moment. This has taken forever. It's taken a really long time, but that's fine. I'm slightly concerned that it's not yet curling up on the edges because I've stopped working the base. I'm starting to build it up, but it's not really building up as much. Obviously, if there is a problem with it and it's not big enough, I run out of yarn and it's not tall enough, ignore the fact that my trousers were down. So if I do come into a problem and it's not tall enough, then I will of course be able to use some more of this yarn and it would just look a bit scrappier. But yes, that's sort of where I'm at the moment. Yeah, I'll try and update you before the end of the day. In terms of what I'm going to use the basket for, I was thinking I can use it to put my works in progress in, just save them being sort of on the floor, or I can use it for storage of some kind. There's always things to put in baskets. If I run out of things, I can use it in the front room to store our spare blankets on. There's always things that you can use baskets for, so yeah. I have also popped this to the side because it's a beigey sort of acrylic. I've put this to the side because there is another project that I want to make with it, and it involves this, something that I made for a Christmas present. So yeah, that will be in a different video. I don't think it'll be today, although my finger is really hurting. I feel like it's going to have a blister. But yeah, it's fine, not a problem. Sorry, the lighting's a bit not great. I was going to swear then, but I won't. So this is where I am at the moment. So I've got through quite a bit of yarn, so that was where I was earlier. So I've used up this multicoloured yarn, I've used up the pink acrylic that I've got. I'm working through my second and third ball of red. Orange, I'm nearly finished. Yellow, I've started as well, so I'm doing pretty good so far. It weighs 267 grams, so a lot has been used. The only thing I will say is I'm working through the pattern at the moment, which is really straightforward, but as I'm working it up, apparently it should just shape itself, but it doesn't seem to be shaping itself very much, so I have put some decreases in here just so hopefully it will start going up rather than still going out. But yeah, it's a lot bigger than I was expecting, and I've started using all of the yarn because I think I will be able to use all of it. I'm hoping that it comes up a fair distance. It's meant to be, or the pattern says for it to be sort of up to 30 centimetres, which is that much higher. So at the moment it's not even 10, it's 8 centimetres. And I've used a lot of yarn, so I'm thinking I will be able to use, it's going to be a bit difficult to show you what I've got left. I've got quite a bit of red left. I've got a fair bit of orange left and a bit of yellow. Then the next yarn that I will put in will be the green. I'm going to use the ribbon yarn I've got as well, just so that that's finished. Then blues and purple lastly. Once I finish all of those, I will start adding in the whites, and then hopefully it will be tall enough to be a usable basket. But I'm a bit worried at the moment. It sounds crazy that I won't have enough yarn to make it a decent height. If I finish all of the yellow, orange, red and dark red and it still hasn't grown that much, what I will probably do is decrease it again and then hopefully it might be a bit wider at the bottom, but then hopefully I'll need less yarn to finish it. But yeah, I will be able to see obviously after I finished the yellow how far that will go. How much is it again? 15 grams. Yeah. But yeah, that's how it's going at the moment. My hand is hurting quite a lot. I'm just using the 4 strands of yarn together. So my plan is to hopefully finish this 6 grams of green yarn. I've decided I don't need another frog, but I know that it takes 6 grams, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to make the arms and the legs first, so that I know I've got enough to do them, and then I'm going to do the body, and if I don't have quite enough to make it that big, I will make it a bit shorter, or I can make it a bit taller if I've got some spare yarn. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Apart from that, I can also make some bottle tops with this beige yarn, just for the tops of bottles that I've made. But yeah, I'll talk to you a bit more about that another time. I just want to do something that's a bit easier on my hands. I don't know if you can tell how red it is. You can tell a little bit. Yeah, my finger and thumb are very much hurting, which isn't great, but okay. So yesterday I didn't film the rest of my evening, but I finished the bottom of this bag. I think I showed you that, and then I started up the sides. I did a decrease, and then that's pretty much it. I hurt my finger, so I didn't carry on too much, and I made another little froggy. So I finished the green yarn now. I've still got loads of the white and the black. And then today, which is the 12th, me and my husband's anniversary, I haven't done much crocheting. Obviously, we've been quite busy, but I did 2 rounds of this and it took me a long time. So I'm working through the yarn slowly. Really dodgy angle. Today is the 14th. So yesterday I did a couple of rounds again. I also did another decrease because this is taking ages and I don't regret starting it because it is absolutely eating yarn, which is amazing, which I'm really happy about. But yes, it's going to take a long time to finish this. I'm hoping I finish it by October, and I'm also hoping that I have enough time to do other projects and not just this for the rest of the month. But yes, 2 rounds, or no, 3 rounds, sorry, 3 rounds. And then I'm going to do a bit more today. So I have been crocheting this morning, and I'm probably going to be a bit late for work, but shh, don't tell anyone. I've managed to do a few rows. Again, this is going to take me ages. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. It's going to take a while, but I'm on to green now. So I'm just going to pack my bag full of different greens, blues, whites, and yeah, take it to work. And hopefully I'll have a little time over lunch to carry on with some more of this crocheting. I have decreased it again. It's probably going to be one of those baskets that's got like is it a potbelly basket where it's bigger at the bottom and then it is a bit smaller. You can hear the guinea pigs. But yeah, right. Going to pack some more yarn, take it with me. Going to feed the guinea pigs because they are starting to squeak, if you can hear them. And then, yeah, I'm at work today. Maybe I'll get some time tonight to do some crocheting, hopefully. Last night I didn't crochet because I finished work quite late. I got home around 9:30, I think. So it was pretty much food, then bed. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully I'll see you later. Bye. finished. It's the same day, so this is how much I've crocheted today. I'm tired. I've woven in all the ends as well. So it is the 16th of October. Yesterday was my husband's birthday. It was a very busy day, so I didn't do any crocheting, but that is fine. I finished the basket as I showed you, but I've just weighed the yarn that I've used and what is left, and I'm really impressed. The only thing I've got left are all the acrylics I used is these three. So 2 whites and a blue, and a tiny bit of sparkly black. So I just weighed all of the yarn that I used, and I used up 18 balls of yarn, and I used 596 grams, which is so good. So I was a little bit, it wasn't my favourite project, not gonna lie, because it hurt my hands quite a bit, and although you can't see it anymore, my fingers were red just from pulling the yarn through. It was a bit hard on my hands, but it's fine, and considering I nearly used 600 grams is great. I'm very excited about that. What I might do as well is just weigh it, not right now because it's down there and I'm up here and I can't be bothered, to be quite frank, but I might weigh the basket itself because I did use a few more scraps that weren't in here. I think it'll be very much the same weight as what I've got down, but just in case it's higher, really. Right now I'm just going to look for some other projects that I can get started. I haven't got a plan so far, so let's see how it goes. Just quickly, I have started my next project. It is using this beautiful yellow cotton yarn, mustard yellow, and I am making a hair bow. I've only done a couple of rounds and I'm hoping that I won't be late for work. I will continue this on the way home, when I get home. It seems so far quite straightforward. It's half double crochets and single crochets, so yeah, I will catch up with you tonight or tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see. So today is the 17th of October, and yesterday I did do quite a bit of crochet. I can't remember when I started this. It may have been a few days ago or it may have been yesterday, I can't remember, but this is where I'm at. So this, although it looks a bit like a garter at the moment, this is going to be a hair bow. So I've just started the bit that goes around in the middle. I am a few rows into this, I think, 2 or 3, I can't remember, I should probably work that out. I think I'm 3 rows into this, so I've got a little bit longer to go, and then I will be finished. So far, I have this yellow cotton yarn, beautiful colour, goes with one of my dresses really well. So far, I've got 25 grams left, and I have used 13 grams, so that's actually more than I was expecting. So I don't think I'll finish all of that with this project, but if I've got some left I might make some little hair bows and see whether I can finish the yarn with that. That's where I'm at the moment. Today I'm not in work, so I've got a bit more time to get crocheting. However, because I'm away next week, no, I'm not, ignore that. I thought it was away next weekend, but it's not the end of the month yet, so I've still got another week or so of doing this, but I will have to wrap this video up a bit earlier than the end of the month. I will need to get it done by the 23rd, so a few weeks left, but yeah, not till the end of the month. But so the bow is finished. Not sure it's positioned quite right. Yeah, it looks all right. I need to try it on. Shall I try it on now? Yeah, but I think it will look quite cute. I'll try and take a video before the end of the day. So that can go in my finished, she's gone behind, that can go in my finished projects basket. At the moment I'm between two projects, so I can either make some crochet gift bows, you know, the fluffy ribbons that usually go on top of presents, which would be great for getting rid of little scraps of, I was thinking mainly cotton, or maybe the smaller scraps. What I need to do is make one bow, see how much yarn it uses, see, because it says how big to make the rectangles, but it doesn't say how many chains to do. It's more of a recipe than a pattern, if that makes sense. So I need to find out how much yarn it uses so that I can use that for destashing, I guess. And then just with the smaller bits of yarn, if I've got enough, I will try and get rid of those. For example, this is hopefully enough to make one bow, maybe two at a push. This green as well I can use. It's different colours, which is cool. Just the little bits. Yeah, just to get rid of some. So obviously once they are used, I would probably sellotape them to the top of presents, and then I would reuse them. So I'd ask people to give them back if they weren't going to use them, and then I would use it the next year for either birthday presents or Christmas presents, etc. Or what I could do is just keep them in the family or between me and my husband so that they are used. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. It kind of makes sense to me. Yeah, apart from that, nothing really to say. The other pattern that I was debating doing was for using some of my chunky yarn to make some pan savers. So it's crochet flowers, I guess, that can sit in between the pans in the cupboard so that they can not get scratched. But yeah, or maybe I'll make a couple of both. So I'll go between the two, see which one takes the longest, and then go. But yeah, the pattern for the gift bow comes from juliemeasures.com. I'm just watching some video diaries from Ryan Woods, and this is the gift bow pattern, and it is by Julie Measures. So yeah, the way that she does the pattern, presumably she tells you what to make, so 2 longer bits, 2 medium bits, etc. She tells you how big to make them, and then she tells you how to sew them so that they can go together. But yeah, so yeah, I wanted to make a few of those and see if it doesn't take too long, maybe I can get rid of some yarn. So I started making the crochet gift bows. I started with this blue yarn. It's a bit fuzzy and it's very, very thin. I've got about 90, well, I have got exactly 19 grams of this. So I started using it, mystery yarn, and I doubled it up because it's so thin, used a 4.5 hook. I have got the first section, which is one 10-inch long strip, and I weighed it because I thought there's not a lot of yarn here, and it turns out that it's not a lot of yarn and I would not have enough to finish it. So this by itself weighs 4 grams. I would need another 4 grams to do one similar, and then probably very similar to do the 2 9s, 2 8s, and then the middle. I just would not have enough yarn, so I'm not going to use this. It's not very nice. I got it from my husband's late grandma. It was in her stash. It's not a very nice yarn to use, to be honest. It keeps getting, it sort of acts a little bit like mohair, you know, when you try and rip it back and it just doesn't want to come back. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but this is not what I'm going to be using. So I have got another yarn, which is this pink cotton. I will try with that, and I will do the same again, because it doesn't say how much yarn you need, because it's sort of, it's a project that you can use any yarn for, any weight yarn. You just need to follow the directions. There's no sort of hard and fast rule. I am going to do the same, so make one 10-inch section, weigh it, and then hope that I will have enough, and then as I go I will sort of work out how much yarn I need for each of the sections, if that makes sense. But yeah, for the pink yarn I've got 27 grams, and I will only need to use it single stranded, so yeah. So some good news, I started using the pink. There was 28 grams. I've made 2 of the 10-inch strips and 1 9-inch. I mean, they look exactly the same, so there's not really much to show you, to be honest. But yeah, I've made 3 so far. I need to make another 9-inch strip, 2 8-inches, and then a smaller one, which I don't actually know how big it will be, or 4-inch, so a lot smaller. So far I have used 11 grams of yarn, so I will definitely have enough to finish this bow, and then if I have any extra it will just be a small bit, hopefully less than 10 grams, I'm imagining. It's taking a while to crochet up, just because it's made in so many separate parts. It would be better, or I would enjoy it more, if it was all crocheted together, but then it might be a more difficult pattern, if that makes sense. But yeah, so far so good. Hopefully well, I'm going to go and have some lunch, sort a few things out, and then I will be back afterwards. But yeah, I'm going to see how many I can make. I'm going to make this one. I need to block it afterwards, so that's fine. It's less sewing to do today. I was thinking for this thinner yarn, I could hold it with some DK acrylic. That might make it easier to crochet with, and it would also get rid of it and make it a little bit more interesting for the white acrylic. But yes, that's my thinking. I could also do the same for the green. Hello, it's still the 17th. I just wanted to do another check-in. So I have finished making the bow. It says that I need to block this first, just so that the parts are straighter. So the basic way that it goes is a bit like this, I think. It gets folded over like that on both sides, and then you just layer them so that it's looks like a present bow. I will be blocking those. I still have a bit of the pink yarn left, so I will have to find something to use that for. And I have also started making some dish savers. So I saw quite a lot of them, and like quite a lot of different designs. Obviously they're only going to go between the frying pans and different dishes like that, so it doesn't need to be pretty. So I saw a lot of different designs, and to be honest, I was looking for a quick project. This took quite a while. I don't know why, because it was double crochet, and I guess that takes me a bit longer. No, that was half double. This was just made with double crochet, and is quite scrappy, as you can see. I finished one ball with this, and I will have to weigh it afterwards, and I am partway through the second one. This was the design that I went for. I think I might have said this, sorry, I'm a bit tired. This was the design that I went for because it was quicker to do. But I am going to block this as well, because as you can see, it's not quite, it's meant to be flower shape and stay flower shaped. But yes, I used a 9mm hook for this, I think. So I have started the next one. I only need 3. I've just counted how many frying pans we have. I've started the next one using the leftover yarn And the reason that it looks so scrappy is because it was left with remnants from a pillow I made a couple of years ago, last year maybe. It was embroidery, but it was made with yarn, if that makes sense. So I've just got the rest of this to go, and yeah, lots of other scraps. I've got red, dark grey. I'm trying to get through my chunky yarn. I think there's only 6 balls, so I'm hoping that that will be easier to get through. And then yeah, I will try and catch up with you before the end of the night, even if it's just a quick one. Over the weekend we will be away, so I might not be able to check in that much. So yeah, this might be it for a little while. Other than that, it will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before or after work, and Thursday. I think Thursday as well. But yeah, I'm tired, but I'm going to carry on crocheting. So see you on the flip side. So unfortunately there has been a change of plans. So I am here this weekend. I am looking after the piggies because one of them has a bit of a problem, but that's fine. It means that I will have more time to crochet. Every cloud has a silver lining. Of course I'm disappointed that I won't be able to celebrate with family, but I'll make the most of it. So my husband has left and it is just me, which is fine. So this is what I got done yesterday. I'm working on my second pot saver, I guess. I finished 2 of these, started the second one. The only thing I would say is that it is a bit tricky to crochet into the chains, so it's taking a lot longer than it should do or would usually do. But yeah, that's what I'm working on today, and I'm going to make another one because I've got some more chunky yarn left. I've bought all of the yarn here. I don't know. Oh, there we go. I've bought all of the yarn in here just so that I can sit down, snuggle down, because it's getting a bit colder this season. And then, yeah, I will keep you updated, of course. So I have changed probably 2 or 3 times since I last recorded. It is technically the 19th, but it's still continuing on from the 18th. It's just really early in the morning. I've just been watching films and crocheting, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But I thought I would just quickly show you what I finished today. I will probably do the grams at the bottom here and how many balls I finished as well. So the first thing that I made was another pound saver. This needs to be blocked again and ends sewn in. And another one, this was actually the one I started working on first. 2 of those, and then I finished a lot of scraps by making a smaller basket. And lastly, this long chain here. I can't demonstrate exactly how to use it whilst I am talking to you. Also, I'm super tired, so I just want to go to bed, to be honest. But this is a sort of like a crocheted ribbon so that I can tie my hair up and put it in a bow, a bit like this. It's going to be really difficult now. Yeah, it's not going to work. I can't do it on my fingers. But yes, I'm going to do my teeth, go to bed because I'm really tired and the battery's running out. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. It is the 18th and so far today, doesn't look like a lot. I've made this, which is another sort of hair ribbon. It's a very long one. And this pretty much finished off the yellow cotton yarn. So that's done. I am also, oh, I can go to the side. I have also started making another pattern using this magic ball. So you may be aware of a bundle that I bought a year or 2 ago, which had a lot of hand-dyed yarns and various things in it. And this was one of the things that was included. It's a magic ball with seemingly hand-dyed yarn. Now, I can't see, I have no idea what sort of colours this has in it, but I thought it would be really fun to do a project with it. And one of the projects that I found was this one, Projectarian, which is a squid. So I won't show you all of the pattern, but yeah, I'm really interested to see how this will crochet up. It'll be a nice scrappy project. So on the 19th, I got all of the tentacles, I guess, done. So I got the shorter ones, which 6 of them are this sort of browny greeny colour. And then the longer ones are this sort of dark purple colour, almost black. So there's 8 short ones and 2 long ones that go in the middle. I'm still working through the magic ball and it's really dark colours at the moment. I am just making the top of the head or the body. It is the 21st today, so yeah, getting through it slowly, but I definitely won't finish the magic ball, unfortunately, just due to the weight of the yarn. Because it's fingering weight, it takes a lot longer to get through, but yeah, we're getting there. It's in the morning at the moment, so hopefully I'll have some more time later to hopefully get it finished. I'm on round 10 of 30, so pretty good. So it is the 22nd today, but yesterday on the 21st, obviously I did some crochet in the morning and I finished crocheting in the evening. I did some, but I got home quite late from a case at work, so I've just done one row and then I realised that I probably need to give you a bit of an update. This is where I'm at. It doesn't look like much at the moment. Again, it looks black. It's a very dark sort of blackberry purple. I'm waiting for the colour to change because I'm really interested to see how that will look. I am on row 25 out of, I think it's 31, so I will hopefully be finished this morning. Just as a side note, I am using a bit of yarn for a stitch marker, and it's just really interesting to me how it changes. You'd sort of expect it, or I would expect it to just go straight, but it's just really interesting how it changes, because obviously as you're working into the stitch, yeah, I will check in with you before I leave for work, unless I'm running really late, which is possible. So I have finished part of it. I had to make the eyes because I hadn't done it before. It looks really, the eyes look a bit special. I've attached the legs. Now I just need to do another round, attach the tentacles, stuff it, and then I'm pretty much ready. I'm not happy with the eyes at all, but I don't think that I've got any fingering weight yarn in white in order to make them. I just used some DK acrylic yarn, and that's why they look a bit different. I think that's the best way I could put it. Tonight I'm going to, once it's together, I'm going to have a better look at the eyes and see whether maybe I've got some buttons that I can use instead, or just not these because it doesn't look very good. But yeah, I need to sew in the ends on the legs and finish it, and hopefully I will be able to do that tonight unless I get a late case, so yay. On a side note though, I've hardly used any of this magic ball. I've got so much left. I used 2 colours up, which is the brown and the green and the dark purple. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of it. 22nd, it is finished. I use 16 grams. Hello and welcome back. Today is the 23rd or 24th. today is the 23rd of October and I am finishing the challenge a little bit early because I have a very busy week coming up and I won't have time to film and edit and get this video out at a decent time. So I'm finishing it sort of a week or so early just so that I can edit and upload it. I still have in the next busy week, I still have to do my October podcast, which will be out the 1st of October, 1st of November. It'll be out the 1st of November if everything goes well. So I'm wrapping up this video a little bit early. So I think at the start of this, I said that I would like to finish about 1 kilogram of yarn. I have passed that. So I will show you all of the projects that I made. I really enjoyed making this video with just little entries every day. Rather than sort of one long video at the end of the month, I've really enjoyed the set out of this and giving you little updates and the challenge of using different yarn for different projects. I must also say that last night I finished my last project and I had time to start another one and I just could not get my head into it. I just could not focus. There was no projects that really appealed to me. So I think I was about ready for the end of this anyway. But let me show you what I made. So, sorry, I'm all over the place. So to start with, I finished 15 projects. Now those aren't necessarily different things, they are just 15 things that I finished in total. I finished 42 individual balls of yarn, so some of those were quite big, some of those were quite small, but 42 is crazy. 42 balls of yarn that aren't in my stash anymore, which is great. And I finished, drum roll, very proud of this, 1,287 grams of yarn in total. So I finished more than a kilogram in less than a month. For me, that's really impressive. Obviously, you will see that the projects I made were quite scrappy. I used most of the little bits of yarn, which I can't really use for much else. So yeah, that was great. Anyway, let me show you what I made. So going back to the first thing that I made. So the first thing I made was this holder for my laptop. So I always have connectors to my laptop just because if you've got a Mac, you may know that they don't take USBs, which is a little bit annoying. So I always have sort of a little plus one on there. But obviously if I took that off, it would look a lot better, but it fits perfectly. And I thought that this would be really nice if I need to take it anywhere. It just gives it a little bit more protection. I could put a button on it, to be fair, and then it would be it would stay in place. So I think at one point I'm going to put a button on this just so that it stays. But yeah, I'm really happy with it and I love the colours. I think that they've sort of blended together so well, which is why I kept them to the side, to be honest, because it looked quite... Is ombre the right word? It looked like it went in sort of a nice pattern. So I kept them all together for this project. So that was the first one that I did. And I will pop all the patterns below. The inspiration from this came from the pattern. Again, I will list them 1 to 15 or whatever, 1 to 11, I think. So this came from the idea of a green dragonfly tutorial. Obviously, initially I was going to make it into a bag. I don't really use little bags that often. I use handbags, the same handbags all the time. So yeah, this was better for me. So I'm really happy with that. That's project 1. The second project was a dish carrier. So this does look quite scrappy. And then just the way it works is these 2 loops go there. And then I've got this little handle on the top. So there are things definitely that could be better about this, but it works fine. And the reason I made this is because these Pyrex dishes I bought, I absolutely love. They are from America, but because they're glass, I was so worried about them getting broken because I was just carrying them sort of freehand. So now if I take them to work, I've got a way to semi-protect them. So that was project 2. I also managed to use these 2 macrame rings as well, which was a bonus because they'd been in my stash for a while. So I love the feeling of finishing things that have been there for a while, if that makes sense. The next project I made were these 3 little frogs. So this one was the first one I made, and I had some beautiful hand-dyed yarn that I didn't know what to use it for, so these little frogs. Then I made this one, which I made in double strand hand-dyed yarn and double strand just cotton for the tummy. And then I still had a bit left over, so I didn't necessarily make these all in order. But then the next thing I made was this little frog. So the tummy is twisted just due to the way that I've crocheted the rounds. I've done it in rounds rather than rows, if that makes sense. Anyway, this one I made a bit longer so that I could finish the yarn off, and I pretty much finished it off, so that was good. Next one is the reason that I finished so much yarn. I finished this scrap yarn basket. So this is predominantly made out of acrylic. A lot of little bits were used, and I used the pattern, but I kind of freehanded it in the fact that I didn't always use 4 strands of yarn. Sometimes I just added random bits. It wasn't always DK. Sometimes I added sort of 3 strands of fingering weight and hoped that it sort of worked out, which to be fair it did. I did do a lot of decreases as well because it was just taking absolutely ages, which was probably due to the fact that my tension changed so much because I was just adding random bits of yarn. So I think at some points I even had 6 strands of yarn on the go, which, you know, I was just trying to get rid of yarn, but I just love the rainbow effects of it. And weirdly enough, my husband said, I really love that basket, which I didn't think that he would. Not that I thought he'd dislike it, but I didn't think that this would really be anything. So this, I haven't overly decided what I'm going to use it for. Obviously I've got loads of stuff to store, so I was thinking, or a couple of ideas I had was either putting all my scrap yarn in here, and then again, as and when I need it, I can just use it. I can use it to store my works in progress. If I'm working on a jumper, for example, I can just throw everything in here and carry it around the house. I can also use it for any planned projects. So I've got quite a few kits at the moment. I can just pop them in project bags and pop them in here. It's big, so it's really convenient, but let me pop that on the side for the moment because I'm starting to drop everything. Where have the 2 frogs gone? So I'm just going to pop this here so that I can put all of my finished projects in here. Yeah, so this was the project, obviously, that finished the most amount of yarn. Next I made this hair bow. So I made this out of yellow cotton, and I predominantly made it because I've got 2 really beautiful mustard yellow dresses. I love this colour. I think it personally really suits me, so I wear it a lot. Yeah, I've attached a hairband to the back, but I don't know if that will work very well. I haven't worn it yet, so yeah. The other option I can have is to attach it to a clip. What I'd really love is for it to sit sort of at the back of my head. I mean, yeah, at the back of my head, definitely. If I put my hair back sort of in 2 strands, something like that. But yeah, yeah, so I finished this. The pattern was really easy, to be fair, really easy. So that one. Then I made some present bows. So admittedly, I haven't actually finished the present bows, but I've got all of the parts. I just need to block these and I need to sew them together, but that shouldn't take too long. It's just the blocking that takes a while, because obviously you need to wet it and then let it dry off. So this will be a present bow. Next, I made some pattern protectors. So it just looks like a flower. Really easy to do. Again, I will pop all of the patterns below. This is to go between the frying pan so they don't get damaged. I made 3 of these, and it's really good for chunky yarn because I just absolutely like annihilated all of the yarn. It just got through so quickly. So 1, 2, 3. Next, I made another scrappy basket. This was smaller. So I think I just used 2 strands on this one, and I kept pretty consistent. So this is much darker yarn. I wanted to go with the themes of greys and sort of neutrals. There was obviously this purple, so I used chunky yarn for this, purple, and then the top was just a bit of blue. So yeah, and again, I can use this for works in progress, or if I'm just carrying things around the house. What I did do for a while is put all of the scrap yarn, once it fit into here, popped it in here and carried this around. So this is quite handy as well. Next, I made a red hair bow. So this is just a sort of chain. Well, this just long. So this is just a long strand of crochet, and what I have done it for is to tie around my hair as you would tie a ribbon. So I mean, I don't think I'll be able to show you, but so I don't know if you can see that at all. I am trying quite hard to show you. I will try and take a picture on my phone, so if you can't see it very well in the video, hopefully you will be able to see it okay in the photo. Okay, it looks really lopsided, but that's sort of what it looks like. That's the idea anyway. As I said, I'm clearly not. Yeah, that was just a quick bow. So that's one. Ouch, the red one. And then I also made one in yellow to finish off the yellow yarn. So that is very similar again. I will. Again, I don't know how well you can see that, probably not at all. But just in case you couldn't see it very well, that is what it looks like. And again, I would style it better than this. Would style it compared to how I'm showing you, but it is quite difficult to do on camera. So the last thing I made was this squid. I had a magic ball of hand-dyed yarn, and I was hoping to get through more of it than I did. I got through 16 grams, I think, and I only got through 2 colours, which is great because I could get through a lot more with the rest of it, but I was hoping to finish more than I did. These wouldn't necessarily have been my colours to put together. The next colours are sort of purples and blues, which I think would have gone better with this darker colour, but that's the magic of it. You don't know what you're going to get. So yeah, those were all the projects I made. As I said, I really enjoyed the experience because I had to really think about what I wanted to make and take inspiration from the colours I had. I still do have quite a lot left over. I didn't really use a lot of cotton yarn, for example. I've got this bag left, just random colours. I also have this bag of hand-dyed yarn, which I didn't get around to using. And I have sort of a few bits in here. So really, I think, as I said, I struggled a little bit towards the end. So yesterday I started struggling a bit more because I had used quite a lot of inspiration. I'd made a lot of things that I was sort of looking to make, and there wasn't really anything else that was catching my eye or that I felt would go well with the colours that I have. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to use them. I will use them, and I would really like to come back to this challenge maybe next year after I've got all of my Christmas crochet done, and yeah, I'm more up to date on things. I would like to come back to this process because I found it quite inspiring, and I liked the challenge of thinking of things to make. So yeah, I would definitely do this again, and I'd recommend it as well if you've got any scrap yarn, or if you've got a lot of yarn like me. Take the smaller bits or just yarn that you have sort of not assigned to a project and see what you can come up with. Ravelry is a really good resource to use as well, because if you know roughly how many yards you've got, that is something that you can search for as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate it was probably a bit of a longer one, but I really enjoyed making it for you. So yeah, thank you for sticking around, and until I see you next time, take care. All the best. Bye.